Alright YouTube, what is going on? So welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's vlog. Now, what we're going to do today then is something a little bit different compared to what I've already done on my channel so far. A lot of you guys who watch my videos often wonder what the goddamn hell I actually do on a day-to-day basis. Many of you know that I'm an online coach, but a lot of people don't really understand what that actually involves. A lot of people seem to think that I just kind of sit behind the laptop all day, just working on client programs and stuff, when in actual fact I do a hell of a lot more than that. So I thought I'd actually finally sit down and do like a full day in the lifestyle kind of vlog to showcase what I do on a day-to-day basis. Now, for a lot of you guys will know, obviously I've only been in business for like 6 months now as an online coach. And obviously as a business that is pretty much at the very start of its early career, I thought today would be a really good opportunity to show you guys what I'm actually doing to try and grow my business every single day, and obviously talk to you guys about what I do on a day-to-day basis, of how I run my business, how I interact with clients and things like that, the efforts that I'm going to try and expand my business, try and get attention and try and gain more exposure. So you're about to see some of the stuff that goes off in the background that you don't often see on my Snapchat and Instagram stories and things like that. So now you can fully understand why I actually pretty much work solidly throughout all of the day. So today you're going to be seeing things like checking in with my clients or some of the social media work that I do. I'll obviously be showcasing my leg workout, which is going to be coming later on in the vlog as well. And you'll see all the studying and stuff that I do on a day-to-day basis as well. So it's going to be a pretty packed episode right here. So make sure you stay tuned, sit back, enjoy, and I'll catch you guys in the very next clip. Let's get started. Alright then guys, so we're about to get started with my day then. So the first thing I always do every single Monday morning is check in with all of my clients to see how they've gone on in the previous week and to give them any further advice and guidance to help them make further progress for the following week. Now, a lot of you guys, again, who follow me on social media will know exactly how I tend to do my client check-ins on a Monday morning, which usually involves 3 things: coffee, techno, as you can hear right now, and of course the client check-ins or programming itself. I even have my own little hashtag on Instagram stories and Snapchat stories called hashtag techno and programming, hashtag techno and client check-ins. It's a little bit shit, but yeah, basically that's how I always do my Monday mornings. This is how I always check in with my clients because I feel like this is just like the nicest environment for me to work in. Obviously my music is nice and upbeat, so it always gets me in a really good mood. And of course I enjoy checking in with my clients just to see how much progress they're making and of course any further adjustments that need to be made in the following week. And so what I'm going to do now guys is I'm going to quickly show you what my client check-in forms look like so you can see exactly how my clients feedback their information to me, and then I'll show you exactly how I actually respond to that and then give them the adjustments that they need to follow for the following week. So I'll see you guys in the next clip. So then guys, this is what my current client check-in form looks like. Well, actually no, this is only half of it, but I might as well show you anyway. So it just goes through questions, like I said, of like what their previous check-in weight is, what their current weight is, what the biggest win of the week has been, progressions on any lifts, have you completed all the workouts, if so why not, motivation levels, hunger levels, have you been following your macros, have you experienced any problems, what life has been like, because obviously you do find that stresses and like situations outside of the gym can also have a direct influence inside the gym. So I always make sure to ask about that to see if there's anything I can do to help or to use that to explain why things might not be going right. After that, I also ask about like sleeping patterns, have they experienced any stress, if there's anything they'd like me to change, and then of course if they've got any additional comments or questions as well. On top of that, I also ask about like recovery and injuries and stuff like that as well, but that's also on a separate check-in sheet. But yeah, that's pretty much what my check-in forms look like. So I'm going to get straight into my check-ins with all of my clients now, and I'll see you guys in the next clip. going on, guys? So I finished checking in with my clients for the morning and I've answered a few little emails and messages that was off the camera. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to head to the gym because it is just about 1:45, which means it's usually about time for me to go to the gym. Today is a leg session, so I'm just getting prepared for it now. Now, as you can see, I'm just packing my bag. So in there we've got obviously my pre-workout, we've got my logbook with today's sessions already planned out, and we've also got my lifting straps in there as well, and a couple of other straps and my water bottle too. So I'm just going to finish packing that up now and get into my car, and I'm actually going to be bringing you guys into the gym with me so you can see my full leg workout from today, and I may even potentially do like a little voiceover recording of it afterwards. It just depends on how many clips that I get. But anyway, I'm going to get into the car now, get this in with me. I will see you guys in the gym. Yo, what's going on, guys? So I'm going to take you through a little bit of a voiceover now of this entire workout. So for many of you who may have seen, and some of you obviously may not know, I am currently going through a powerlifting type of program. I really wanted to try something a little bit different, and I really want to push the numbers up on my big lifts. So I have recruited the help of Coach Carr, who is obviously in the whole powerlifting scene. He is currently competing for powerlifting as well, so I've recruited his help with that, just to try and get me through something a little bit different. So the very first exercise on the first of my 2 leg days right here, what you're seeing is box squats 5x5. Now, this also has a 2-second hold at the bottom as well, which, believe me, is a fucking killer. Trust me, you'll hear me complain about this afterwards. But yeah, so with the box squats then, primarily, this is included in my program to help me to stabilize myself in the bottom of a squat better. Something I've struggled with previously in the past is, when I am shifting a lot of weight with a squat, sometimes I can't really hold the squat at the bottom phase very well because I can't really recruit my glutes properly. So the whole point of a box squat being here with the 2-second hold is to help me to initiate my glutes better in the bottom of a squat and help me to stabilize myself better. And that way I can force more weight up through. It's going to make me more efficient with this movement in general. And in long run, it's going to help me to shift a lot more weight because I can get more power through my glutes and develop more power in the pushing up phase of the squat. So yeah, so I'm moving about 90 kilos here for 5 sets of 5 with a 2-second hold, and I've actually lowered the plates this week compared to last week, which means I'm going slightly below parallel, and trust me, you can feel the difference. But that is the first exercise on this program then, on this workout. The next thing you're about to see then is rack pulls. Now, rack pulls are actually a fairly new exercise to me. I've never ever done rack pulls before, ever in any of my training whatsoever. So, for many of you who don't know, I struggled with a deadlift injury about a year ago. So I didn't actually deadlift for about 6 or 8 months. The whole purpose of having the rack pulls in this program is to help overload my lower back and to help strengthen it. Now, with the rack pull, it is a fairly simple exercise. It's almost like doing half a deadlift in a sense. It's still the same kind of movement. But the key thing with this one, obviously, is it's just helping to strengthen my lower back. Because it's a new movement for me, I'm still getting used to the technique of having to keep my lower back straight. I'm still having to initiate my lower back and having to get used to that. Having to hold my shoulder blades back in place and stuff. So what you're going to see through these clips, although my technique is fairly decent on this, you'll see that my upper back loses a little bit of tightness through some of the reps. Again, this is something because I'm just getting used to this movement. It's something I'm getting slowly better at. And obviously, the more that I practice this movement, the better it's going to get in terms of being able to hold the correct technique and form to get more efficient at moving more load with this exercise. But primarily, this exercise is there then just to overload my lower back and to hopefully assist in strengthening my deadlifts over the long run. So I'm really enjoying having this exercise, and because it's brand new in my program, obviously because it's a new movement, it means I'm obviously experiencing linear progressions every week, which I'm really happy about. And I'm looking forward to shifting a lot more weight with this over the coming weeks when I improve my technique. So, next movement then is going to be the first of my accessory leg movements, which is the leg press. Now, I absolutely love the leg press. For me, it is my #1 favorite exercise for building the quad muscles. But what I'm going to do right now is obviously go through some teaching points with this as well. So, the first teaching point with this obviously is make sure you have a foot stance which is comfortable to you.
Many people say that you have to have like straight feet when you're using the leg press. They have to be angled a certain way and stuff like that. But something I've always maintained, that if you want to get better at squatting, if you want to build your legs and stuff like that, you have to perform all of your movements that are leg based in a way that suits your biomechanics. So for me, the feet position that you see me have now is natural to me. That is my natural position for my legs. And for me, that allows me to then move as much weight as possible with the most efficient movement. So second point with the leg press, of course, is make sure you have your feet as low as you can on the plate, because that's going to enable the most amount of quad activation and recruit the most amount of muscle fibers. Something many people struggle with the leg press is because they have their feet too high, they don't actually initiate the quads enough, and therefore they don't experience as much muscle fiber recruitment or adaptation to growth with the quad muscles as they could probably get, simply because their feet are too high and they're placing too much of the tension over their hamstrings and glutes. And that's why people struggle to actually grow their quads when it comes to using the leg press. But those are my main teaching points for the leg press. Just on a final note, check the cheeky little tricep exercise. Oh, the cheeky little tricep work going off there. I love that. Right, next movement then, guys, is going to be the leg extension. Again, another one of my favorite exercises for quad growth and for general assistance of building the quads. Now, when it comes to the leg extension, something, again, a lot of people struggle with. Many people use the leg extension, but they don't experience very good quad growth, and it's mainly because they cannot keep the quad under tension for long enough. And simply what most people do when it comes to the leg extension is they don't fully lock out with the exercise, and they're not able to keep the quad muscle under tension for very long. What you're seeing me do here is actually holding each rep at the top for a second where I'm fully locking out, and that's helping to keep my quads under tension the whole time. So if you really, really want to get better at, engaging your quads in the leg extension and obviously forcing a better adaptation, try and lock out at the top of each rep, because that's going to help you keep the muscle under tension for longer. And then the final exercise, guys, is going to be the lying leg curl. And again, this is another one of my favorite isolation hamstring movements. Key thing with this exercise is make sure you keep your hips drilled into the seat. If you really want to keep all the tension over the hamstrings and focus all of the work solely on that, keep your hamstrings drilled into the seat. So many times I see people lifting their hips off the seat, and what that's then doing is bringing more of the glutes into the movement and also their hip flexors. And that's why people experience a lot of loss of tension in their hamstrings. So that's the main thing with the lying leg curl. But that brings an end to my workout, guys. I will see you in the next clip.
Yo, what's going on, guys? So just finished up my training session now, and to tell you the truth, I am absolutely fucked. Jesus Christ, this powerlifting program is not gentle. Jesus Christ, like literally those box squats absolutely killed me, because this week I had to lower the height slightly compared to last week, and trust me, going that tiny little bit deeper in the squats with the same amount of weight fucks you over massively. And then obviously after rack pulls, after that I hit a new PB on rack pulls. I went up a considerable amount of weight compared to last week. So yeah, those two absolutely fried me. And then obviously the accessory work after that, again smashing the logbooks on majority of those exercises and matching last week's progress on them as well. So overall a really good session, but I'm absolutely fried right now, so I need to get home and carry on with the rest of my day. So I'll get back, I'll get some food, shower, change, and then I'll show you guys the next part of my day, which is going to be my social media work. So I'm going to show you guys exactly how I plan out my social media content and what I do for the rest of the day after that. So I'll catch you guys when I get home. So I have had some food, I've had a shower, and I've got changed, and I somewhat feel human again after that pretty horrendous gym session. So right now then, just before I head off out again, which I'll explain a little bit later on, it is time to do my social media work. So the first things first, what I want to show you guys is my little magical wall of content production, which is this thing right here. Now, you won't be able to see any of the info and stuff on that, but basically what that wall is just a load of information about the type of client that I really want to work with. So it'll have information like what problems do they have, what values do these people have, what do they need help with, what are the benefits of my content, where do they hang out, what is their social life like, what are their dreams, and all things like that. It's basically an in-depth look at the type of client that I really want to work with. So it's going to help me to basically like craft content which is going to try and speak to them and it's going to resonate with them, and even has information like what kind of language and stuff to use, Hence why you probably see me swear on a lot of my content. So, but yeah, that thing obviously really does help me to kind of like formulate my content and give me some really good ideas about the type of content that I want to produce on a daily basis. So most of you guys will know, obviously you'll probably follow me on Instagram and on Facebook and Snapchat and things like that. Facebook and Instagram are my two main pieces of daily content to work on, so I tend to post on Facebook once a day. I have two Facebook groups, which of course I post in regular as well, like pretty much every day. And then Instagram I try and do like twice a day as well. But yeah, that's pretty much my wall of content, and this is what I go through basically every single day, just to try and figure out what kind of content I want to do. Now, the types of content that I do produce mainly are all like kind of like informative posts and stuff like that. So there's three things I usually go for, which is either memes, or I go for like infographics, or I share like videos and photos of myself, like selfies and stuff like that from the gym as well, to use as type of content. I find at the moment that memes and infographics do really, really well on social media. And obviously for anyone that does work in a social media based business, they'll know how much that like social media trends change. But at the moment, memes and infographics are doing the business right now. So majority of my content is based around those two things, either memes or infographics at the moment. And I'm thinking that tonight I really fancy a meme. I really fancy making a meme. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to put the camera down and actually get to work on making a meme. Actually, have I got time? No, I haven't got time. I'll have to do it when I get back. I've got to nip off and teach a class now, which I'll explain a little bit later on, because right now I'm running late. What a shock. Anyway, I'll catch you guys later on when we come back to this social media work. Laters. Right, so back from teaching my class now, and what time is it? It's like nearly 9:30. We was meant to do a podcast at what time?
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. And then Coach Carr decides to be a fucking bellend in my Facebook group.
Oh yeah.
And basically he started a rear delt off, and now it's just, Facebook group's kicking off. We're gonna come back to it later on.
I fucking ended it. I finished that.
Fuck off. Fuck off. My I've never done that post before, and it was better than yours.
I don't give a shit. No, man. No. Ain't nothing. You ain't got the deadlift back. You ain't got that thickness.
Yeah, I ain't got the deadlift back. I've got aesthetics on my side. Fuck you.
You got what?
I've got the aesthetics on my side. Fuck you.
Mate, traps beats aesthetics any day.
Bro, I'll just send you that meme again if I have to. And you know which one I'm on about.
I don't care.
Anyway, if you lot can't see it, you can probably just about see it. Let me get it. Say hello.
Got my
You
whiskey.
see, he's got his whiskey, whereas me on the other hand, one sec. I'm being a little bit more British tonight with my cup of tea for this podcast. So, right, what are we talking about tonight?
Drinking is British. What are you on about?
Suppose. What are we talking about?
We're going to talk about a topic. So basically, I've been like having a lot of rants on Facebook lately and Instagram. And
Oh, you having a rant on Facebook? Never. Never.
I've been on holiday, so I need to catch up. And I've been talking to a lot of the coaches on how people post such bullshit on Instagram. Don't believe everything you hear. So this topic, this podcast, I reckon it's going to go over half an hour.
Probably.
It's going to be called Question Everything. Something
That's what we're
wish I
talking
did
about.
when I started. Something I think everyone should do as well. So it should be a good one. It'll be a big rant.
Yep. So, in case you didn't hear that, tonight's podcast is Question Everything. This is basically going to be one hell of a rant. So,
Oh yeah.
of course, when this YouTube video goes out, depending on when this podcast goes out, I will put the link in the description. But anyway, I'm going to get to it. I'll catch you guys when I am done with this podcast. Yo, what is going on YouTube? So, it is Tuesday afternoon, technically the day after my day in the life video. Basically what happened last night, right, is after I finished recording the podcast at like 10:30 p.m, I pretty much just fell straight to sleep because I was absolutely shattered. Like, I woke up this morning, I was like, shit, I didn't actually finish off my day in the life. But I'll finish it off now just to kind of tell you guys what I usually do at that time of night, every single night, before I start chilling out and obviously going to bed. I thought I'd just catch up with it now. So, what I actually do every single night then is every single night I try and dedicate at least 1 hour a day to doing some form of studying, reading, or any kind of self-development. Obviously, I'm still a very, very young coach. I've not been coaching for very, very long. Sorry, I just turned there because a pigeon hit my window. That's so weird. Obviously, I'm in the very early days of my business still. I'm only 6 months into online coaching, into like full-time like self-employment. And I've only really been in the industry for like 3 or 4 years. So although I've got quite a lot of knowledge now I know there's still so much for me to be able to learn in order to help my clients progress further, in order to gain better results, and of course to help grow my business. So if I really want to grow to the levels that I really want this business to go, I need to make sure that I'm studying and constantly learning every single day to help me get to that next level. So what I'm going to do right now is actually show you what I am currently studying or reading right now, to show you what I'm actually going through at the moment to help improve my knowledge in some way or form. So first things first then is The Muscle and Strength Pyramid by Eric Helms. Now, for those of you guys who don't know what that book is, it is basically the training Bible. It is the ultimate fitness Bible for any fitness enthusiast or online coach or personal trainer in general. It's just an ebook basically on how to structure a program for strength or for hypertrophy, and takes you through all the relevant information, which obviously is to do with building a proper periodized program. So obviously it'll go through like volume, intensity, frequency, exercise selection, all of those things. And that book is really helping me to create better programs for my clients, understanding anatomy and physiology a hell of a lot better, and it's just constantly making improvements to my actual coaching business. So I'm really enjoying reading that book at the moment. Next book is How to Win Friends and Influence People. So that book is by Dale Carnegie. It's like 80 years old, something like that, but it's one of the best selling books of all time. That book basically goes through human relations and understanding human behavior. Obviously, with the fact that I work with clients on a day-to-day basis, the hardest thing with working with humans is actually having to understand them. If you want to get them to do what you want them to do, to help them get the results that they desire, you need to be able to understand how to speak to them on their level and understand how they are feeling. So that book is really good for helping me to understand human behavior and human relations. That book is absolutely golden, to be honest, because it's really helped with understanding clients better, especially when you're working with people online, because kind of like interacting with people through emails and Skype calls and stuff like that, it's not quite the same as working in person. Okay, the final thing I'm going through at the moment then is this Ask Gary V book by Gary Vaynerchuk. And for those of you who don't know, Gary Vaynerchuk is basically a social media king. He understands all the trends with social media before anyone else does. So I'm reading that basically on the concept of trying to get better at social media. Now, I'm doing pretty well with my social media. It's growing steadily and whatnot, but I want to be able to understand trends a lot more. I want to be able to understand how social media works, how people interact with social media and stuff like that. So I'm reading that book purely to help me gain further knowledge on social media, how to hack my way to get a better growth and get a better following and create more of an influence for myself. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. That is what I do for an hour every single night. Pretty much after I've done all of my work for the rest of the day, I then sit down for an hour, read through some of that or study through some of that and make notes, and then see how I can apply it into my business or into how I go about my day. Anyway, I think that is it. So although technically this is the day after, so it's not quite a full day in the life, that is how my days work, guys. That is pretty much a day in the life of me. Hopefully that was a little bit interesting for you, and hopefully you now understand what I actually do on a day-to-day basis. So anyway, guys, I'm going to end the vlog here. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all the usual stuff. I'll see you guys in the next video.